Wars don't always need a big reason to happen. People have fought over silly things. And one of the most bizarre wars ever fought in history was the Harb Naqati Basus, or the War of the Camel of Basus. Because believe it or not, this war was started over the killing of a camel, and it lasted for 40 years.
ومن ينفق الساعات في جمع ماله مخافة فقر فالذي فعل الفقر.
وإذا ظلمت فإن ظلمي باسل مر مذاقته كطعم العلقم.
ألم تعلمي أني إذا الضيف نابني وعز القرى أقري السديف المسرهدا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Abdul Alim from fluentarabic.net, and in this video I want to talk about this famous incident from Jahiliyyah, or the pre-Islamic period, where this enormous war happened between two tribes called Banu Taghlib and Banu Bakr. And this war lasted for 40 years, and as we said, this was all started over the killing of a camel. So what is the story behind the Harb of Basus? Reading and understanding these stories is important because it helps us to understand the mindset of the Arabs, and it helps us to appreciate the kind of reform and change that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was able to bring into the society. Now, what is the War of Basus? Now, Basus was a woman from the tribe of Bakr, and this camel belonged to her neighbor. Now, there was a chieftain in the tribe of Taghlib. Now, this man was so fearsome that it is said that he would enter an area where there's water, and no one would dare to bring their animals into this area. He would take over this entire area and prevent others from coming in and bringing their animals to drink the water and graze from this whole entire area. Now, while this Kulayb was sitting in this land that he had reserved for himself, a strange camel came into this area, and this was the camel of Basus. So when he saw this camel, he took an arrow and he struck the camel. And this arrow struck the camel in its udder. And the camel ran back to its owner, and it fell down and collapsed and died. Now the owner of this camel was a neighbor of this woman named Basus. Now this woman belonged to the tribe of Bakr, and she went to her nephew named Jassas, and she complained. She screamed, "Wadullah, oh the shame that has come to me." And she said some very moving lines of poetry inciting her tribe. She said, لعمرك لو أسبحت في دار منقذ لما ضيم سعد وهو جار لأبياتي. By your life, were I in the house of Munqidh. Munqidh was her father. Were I in the house of my father Munqidh, Sa'd, or this man, the owner of this camel, would not have been wronged. وَهُوَ جَارٌ لِأَبْيَاتِي, while he is a neighbor to my houses, while he is a neighbor to me. وَلَكِنَّنِي أَسْبَحْتُ فِي دَارِ غُرْبَةٍ متى يأد فيها الذئب يأدو على شاتي. But I am in a house among strangers, where when the fox attacks, it attacks my sheep. Meaning whenever the fox wants, it can attack over my sheep. I am among strangers. فيا سعد لا تغرر بنفسك وارتحل فإنك في قوم عن الجار أمواتي. So ya Sa'd, so O Sa'd, do not be deceived and leave this place, because you are in a place where the people are as good as dead to their neighbors. They are useless to their neighbors. وَدُونَكَ أَذْوَادِي فَإِنِّي عَنْهُمْ لَرَاحِلَةٌ لا يفقدوني بنياتي. And here are my camels in front of you. I am leaving them because my sons, they are not going to miss me. And this, was the kind of thing that was not going to be left alone. When she said this moved them, and Jassas, her nephew, he went to Kulayb and he took a spear and he stabbed him, killing Kulayb. Now, what had to be done was that Banu Bakr, the tribe of Jassas ibn Murrah, Banu Bakr had to give Jassas to Taghlib as a ransom and settle the dispute and make peace. But this is not what happened. And this is not what Banu Taghlib accepted. Some of them wanted peace. Some of the old men, the wise men, they wanted peace, and they knew the pain and the fitna of this inevitable war that was coming. So they wanted peace. But Kulayb, the chieftain who was killed, had a brother named Zir Salim. Now Zir means a womanizer. So the womanizer Salim. And he was also a drunkard. So it is said that when they went and told him about the death of Kulayb, he was amongst his singing girls. So when one of the girls informed him about the death of Kulayb, he continued to drink. And he said, Al-yawma khamrun wa ghadan amrun. Today is for drink and tomorrow is for a grave matter. Then he said these lines of poetry. خُذِ الْأَهْدَ الْأَكِيدَ عَلَيَّ عُمْرِي. Hold me to my firm oath by my life. بِتَرْكِ كُلَّ مَا حَوَتِ الدِّيَارُ. That I will abandon all that the abode encloses, all that the house encloses, whatever is within the house, I will leave it. وَهَجْرِ الْغَانِيَاتِ وَشُرْبَ كَأْسٍ وَلُبْسِي جُبَّةً لَا تُسْتَعَارُ. And I will leave the singing girls and the wine cup, and I will leave wearing the garment that is unborrowed. I will only wear garments that are borrowed. وَلَسْتُ بِخَالِعٍ دِرْعِي وَسَيْفِي إِلَىٰ أَنْ يَخْلَأَ اللَّيْلَ النَّهَارُ. And I will not take off my chainmail, my armor, as long as the day does not separate from the night. As long as the night comes after the day, I will have my chainmail, my armor and my sword with me. I will never take it off. وَإِلَىٰ أَن تَبِيدَ سَرَاتُ بَكْرٍ فَلَا يَبْقَى لَهَا أَبَدًا أَثَارُ. As long as Banu Bakr has this lofty summit, Sarat, as this lofty summit, as long as it is not demolished, I will fight them. فَلَا يَبْقَى لَهَا أَبَدًا أَثَارُ. As long as no trace of them remains, I will fight them. Subhanallah. And this started a bloody war between the two tribes of Banu Bakr and Banu Taghlib. And subhanallah, this war went on for many, many years. And there was a wise man from the tribe of Bakr named al-Harith ibn Ubad. Now Harith ibn Ubad, he did not want anything to do with this nonsense. He took his family and he stayed away from the conflict. Now they said about al-Harith ibn Ubad, كان من أهلم أهل زمانه وأشدهم بأسا. He was the most patient, the most forbearing of his time, but he was also the fiercest warrior amongst all of them. Harith ibn Ubad. So Harith ibn Ubad, in his wisdom, he did not want to enter this conflict. And he sent his son, Bujair to Zir Salim to speak to him and try and end this bloody war, knowing the danger he was sending his son to. And Zir Salim, in his unquenchable thirst for blood, he killed Bujair. And when they came and told al-Harith about the death of Bujair, look at the wisdom of this old man. He said, نِعْمَ الْقَتِيلُ قَتِيلٌ أَصْلَحَ بَيْنَ بَكْرٍ وَتَغْلِبٍ. Blessed is the one who is murdered if he has brought peace between Bakr and Taghlib. Subhanallah. But then they told him, Zir Salim, or al-Muhalhil as he is also known, when he killed Bujair, he did not consider him as an equal to Kulayb, or he did not kill him for the death of Kulayb, because al-Harith thought he considered him as an equal and the conflict would end. Zir Salim, when he killed him, he said, Bu' bi shis'i na'li Kulayb, die in retaliation for the sandal thong of Kulayb. Or he considered him equal to the strap on the sandal of Kulayb. So subhanallah, when al-Harith heard this, he became angry. And then he said in his famous lines of poetry, Ya bani Taghlib خذ الحذر إن قد شربنا بكأس موت ذلال. O Banu Taghlib, be warned, we have sipped the pure drink from the cup of death. يا بني ثغلب قتلتم قتيلا ما سمعنا بمثله في الخوالي. O Banu Taghlib, you have killed someone the like of whom we have not heard in the recent days. We have not heard of in the recent days. قربا مربة النعامة مني لقيت حرب وائل عن الحيال. Bring the reins of an-Na'ama. Na'ama was the name of his horse. Bring the reins of my horse close to me. He's going out to war. Because the war of Wa'il is the father of both the tribes, their common ancestor. The war of Wa'il has ceased from its state of hayd or menstruation, because the woman is either in the state of menstruation or pregnancy. Because if she stops menstruating, that means she is pregnant. So symbolically saying the war was not pregnant before, it was menstruating. And I have entered now and it has become pregnant. And it is going to give birth. Give birth to what? To death and destruction. Subhanallah. And this is what happened. And he says, قَرِّبَا مَرْبَةَ النَّعَامَةِ مِنِّي لَيْسَ قَوْلِي يُرَادُ لَكِنْ فِعَالِي. Bring the reins of Na'ama to me. It is my actions that matter, not my words. And in reality, when he entered the war, the tables were turned. And they killed so many from Banu Taghlib. And he continued to do so, and he swore that he will continue killing them until the earth spoke to him and asked him to stop. Subhanallah. And he fought and killed so many of them, so much so that the tribe of Taghlib was almost extinct from the face of the earth. And it is said that finally they dug a hole in the earth and made a man enter this hole. And when al-Harith ibn Ubad was passing by, he called out to him and he asked him to stop killing the tribe of Taghlib. And then the people said, O Harith, the earth has spoken to you now. Now you should stop killing now you can stop killing Taghlib. And this is how the war ended finally. Subhanallah. So this is the story of the Harb of Basus, the war that lasted 40 years for the killing of a camel. Now, as you can see, the problem here in Jahiliyyah is that from their ignorance, they did not consider the killing of one person as retaliation for murder. when someone great in their tribe would die, they would say that, the retaliation for this person has to be so many people. And in this instance, you see Zir Salim, his brother, he saw that retaliation for Kulayb had to be the whole tribe of Taghlib, and this was the Jahl. And these are the rules that Islam came and abolished. Islam came and brought justice from these beliefs of Jahiliyyah and made only the person who committed the murder responsible. And in this context, you appreciate the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ in his farewell pilgrimage. ألا وكل دم من دماء الجاهلية موضوع وأول ما أضع منها دم الحارث بن عبد المطلب. Verily, every feud from Jahiliyyah is abolished, and the first feud that I abolish is the feud of al-Harith ibn Abd al-Muttalib. So this helps you appreciate this change and reform brought by Islam even more. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you like this content, please consider subscribing and liking the video. I will see you in the next episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.